Well, John, let's take a trip to the Upside Down.
Okay.
And our final part of this.
That's my Vecna impression. Zach. Your angel of death approaches. Did you get some Phantasm vibes from Vecna?
Maybe a little bit.
I get Phantasm vibes every day, but
yeah. I was trying to think what would be the song that you would need to bring yourself back to life if you were under the curse of Vecna.
Daughter by Pearl Jam.
John's levitating. Don't call me, don't.
Yeah, what about you?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, because here's the thing. It has to be a song that you can listen to on a loop to keep them away, right? I could listen to that song 1,000,000 times in one day. Never get tired of it.
Tequila on a Boat would probably be.
I would just let Vecna take you.
Like drifting back into the grandfather clock, and you're like, he's fine. He's going to a better place.
You've broken everything. Your suffering is almost at an end.
But yeah, no, okay, so we'll end this review discussion. We, the both of us watched the first half of Stranger Things season 4. It was 7 episodes, right?
Yes.
And now they're taking a break, and then the final 2 episodes are going to premiere in July. Yep. John, what did you think of Stranger Things 4 Part 1?
As we've talked about over what has it been, like the last 6 years since the show first started to come out? I love the ensemble cast. I love the world and the 80s nostalgia, with also mixing it with the horror elements. For Stranger Things 4 particularly, I think it's really big. It's on a really big scale. They have a lot going on. There's a lot of subplots, some of which I think work better for me than others. But I really dug it so far. I think the villain is the most compelling villain they've had since the first season.
Totally.
And I think that the just like kind of the different situations that they can put the characters in now is so cool. Because in the first season, it's like Mike and Dustin and Lucas hanging out with Eleven, and they're looking for Will. Whereas like now we have all these weird mashups where it's like Max and Lucas and Dustin hanging out with Lucas's sister, and then you have like Argyle and Jonathan hanging out with Will and Mike, and it's just like they are able to like do what Avengers Infinity War did, which is like, let's just mix different characters together and see what happens when they can play with each other.
Right.
So that's kind of cool to see. But yeah, no, I mean, I dug it. I'm very interested to see how it ends. And I think that there are things that they set up in the last episode, particularly, which I think is the best of the 7. Maybe closely tied with the 4th one, but like explanations for the Upside Down that maybe they'll bring home in the last 2 parts. So
yeah, I love this season. I think this might be the strongest season of the show so far. I really do. I love what they're doing with this. My biggest criticism is I really love what you said about, like, I love the fact that they're able to have these different dynamics play out between these different characters that we've grown to love. What I don't love is the California side of the people. I feel like Mike and Will are just getting completely shafted, and
they have nothing to do. Yeah.
They have absolutely nothing to do. I think
poor Jonathan's just about to get cucked by Steve the Hare Harrington because he can't do anything in the story. Yeah.
Yep. And maybe that turns a corner in the second half of the season. The second 2 episodes, I'm pretty sure one is like an hour and 45 minutes, and the last episode of this season is like 2.5 hours. So it's like we got a couple movies worth of Stranger Things coming up.
Yeah,
in July.
I think it's just a little too bloated in parts of it.
I agree.
So I think you're right in saying that like some of it is the strongest, but I think in terms of like pacing, the third season is probably the best.
Interesting. I mean, like, I would say the first season is still my favorite. And then the third season and the second season.
Yeah, the second season's in dead last. That fucking bottle episode really kills its average.
That really does grind that shit to a halt.
R.I.P. Sean Astin. He got put in the worst season.
Yeah. But yeah, I like all the characters. I really like what they're doing with the season. I really like the group that's in Hawkins. I think is undeniably the best part. Best part. Whenever
that's where you want to be. Them,
that's where you want to be. Yeah, and it's like I almost wonder if like it seems hard to believe because like Will is out there. And Will doesn't have like whatever that actor's name, like he doesn't have like a huge career, but he's out there. Noah Schnapp, but he's out there with Finn Wolfhard, who definitely has a career. He's been doing Ghostbusters and all this shit. So it's like, I wonder if that was like a pragmatic thing, but like the people that are in Hawkins, like the Dustin, Lucas, Max, Steve, all that group, that's the shit, man.
Yeah.
Like, the scene and spoilers for Stranger Things. We both like it. We both recommend it.
Spoilers from here. Okay.
We both recommend it. Spoilers from here on out.
Yeah. The
episode, I think the episode 4 of season 4 is my favorite episode of the series so far with Max, with Dear Billy or whatever. She's writing the letters or whatever. And there's the whole thing with like, they finally figure out that they're like, if we play the music for her, that she'll be able to find a way out from Vecna's curse. And there's the whole thing with running up that hill.
Yeah.
That episode is so fucking good. But a close second moment for that to me was in the, I think it's the last episode before the break, is when they're trying to find another gate. And some of the guys like Steve and Nancy go through the gate, Watergate, and then they come out the other side or whatever, which is really funny.
Yeah.
But then they're trying to get each other through the gate at the top of like the apartment thing. Or I was like, this is so fucking clever. This is so interesting and engaging. And then it cuts back to Will and shit on the West Coast. And I'm like, I could give 2 fucks.
I actually think the reason why I like the last episode the best is because Will, Mike, and Jonathan are not in it at all.
Yeah, they're not.
The last episode is the gladiator fight with the Demogorgon, which is
that shit was awesome.
And then it's all of the backstory with 1 and 11, and then like the lore building there. But the best part of that final episode is that we get some kind of like how the Upside Down works, where you have like Dustin and them in our world, and then Steve and Nancy and them in the Upside Down, and they're like communicating with lights and shit. And you find out that the Upside Down is trapped in 1983.
Yep.
And you're just like, I was like, this is really cool, and that's what really sealed it for me.
So cool. Yeah, like they're communicating using the light bright. That whole sequence I thought was so fucking well done. And yeah. Again, like I said, like them passing everything to each other, like Dustin throws up the line through the thing in the roof, and like the gravity changes or whatever. Like, oh my god, I don't know.
But now I think the fourth episode, I think is that the one with Robert Englund in it? Because that is really cool.
The 4th episode, Robert Englund. You mean like Freddy Krueger? Yeah, that is the episode 4. Is when
you can run, you can hide, bitch.
Yeah. Nancy Wheeler and Robin go to the mental health asylum or whatever, and they talk to the guy that was the father of the family that they say that he like killed his family or whatever. And it's Robert Englund who like gives the thing. And that was when Carly, we were watching this and Carly had to look away because it was all the eye mutilation shit. And I was like, ooh,
he tried to kill himself by cutting his eyes. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, we haven't talked about this yet, but like A+ for Stranger Things this season for like not shying away from the horror and gore and shit.
Yeah, I noticed that. I noticed that they really amped things up. Yeah, Vecna is way more terrifying than anything they've done before.
Totally. I mean, like the body's getting mutilated. They're stealing people's eyes from their sockets. Like it's pretty
It's
fucking
the
terrifying.
crumpling for me that I can't. Ugh.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
really scary. I like it. I mean, it reminds me like that was something I thought was missing from season 2 and 3 was like that like 80s horror slasher sort of vibe that like season 1 had, where it's like you have this monster that's like hunting people down. And this season, like you really do feel like the bad guy is like actually a bad guy. Like he can actually do some terrible shit and not just inhabit the body of Will Byers and make him say fucking shit.
Poor Will. He's just trying to tell Mike that he loves him, and he's tired of getting ingested with them things.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like that's the big one, right? I mean, do you have any predictions for the remainder parts of the season? Like, where do you think it's going from here?
I don't know. I'm worried about my girl Nancy. I'm not gonna lie, because I feel like they can't all get out of it alive. And when Max got to live, I was like, because I thought she was toast. Like I was like, oh yeah, Max is a goner. But I don't know in terms of like character deaths. It'd be really stupid to kill Hopper again, quote unquote kill.
He's not gonna die.
No, he'll be fine. Because he's got to have his reunion with 11. I think they will all be reunited in the very last episode, but I don't think that the guys that are trying to go get 11 from Salt Lake City will get there in the first episode of season 4, part 2. So I hated I'm not gonna lie, I did not like the sequence where they go to Dustin's girlfriend's house and it's just like this Mormon house,
the
with all
Mormon
these crazy
family.
Kids. I was like, Jesus, get it. I don't want anything to do with this.
It made me laugh, but yeah, I was like, yeah, we probably could have cut this for time.
Yeah, well, I think it's creepy to me because Julia's been watching that Mormon crime thriller. Have you heard about this?
No.
It's Andrew Garfield's in it. What's it called? It's like called
Under the Banner of Heaven.
Yeah. So like that's like creepy Mormons. So like when I saw Mormons in Stranger Things, I was like on edge. Shout out to all of our Mormon listeners there. I'm not
shout out to
you guys
Mormons
necessarily, but it was a weird day for me yesterday when they both happened.
Big ups to Mormons.
Yeah.
I say that I think that my only prediction is I think that Will Byers will die. And I think that because it's like everyone on the subreddit's like who has Vecna's looking for people with like pain and suffering. Who has more pain and suffering than fucking Will, who has like actually been tormented by the Demogorgon, been to the Upside Down, been like fucking tortured by the Mind Flayer. Like,
I mean, 11 has too. She's been
true, but she is
life.
A superhero. Will's just a fucking scrawny ass nobody.
Damn, shots at my guy Will.
I like Will, but I think that there's going to be some sort of emotional death. But I think that, like, you know, again, like this is one of those series where I like it because I usually can't predict what's going to happen.
Yeah. Do you think Nancy's going to wind up with Jonathan or Steve, or do you think she's going to die and neither of them get her?
I think that Nancy will end up with Jonathan.
Really?
Because I think that Steve is either going to sacrifice himself.
Oh no.
Or Steve is going to get like locked in some interdimensional thing. And that's going to be the crux to like, they're going to have to save him in season 5. Because they want.
Oh, they are doing a season 5?
The Duffer Brothers have said that they want to make this like a 5-season show.
Oh, I thought they wanted to do 4.
I think they want to do one more season. And the last season, I think they said they want it to be like shorter. I think they want it to be like 3, 4, or 5 episodes.
Okay. See, I've been thinking that this has been building towards the series finale. Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
I think that this is like the climax. This is like riding up to the climax, and then we're gonna get one more season where it's like all the payoff.
Well, I hope the last season is all in Hawkins, and they better film it soon because pretending that Finn Wolfhard is a freshman in high school is hilarious.
They all look so old, except for Dustin. I think Dustin actually looks like relatively.
I think Sadie Sink looks like she could be a freshman in high school.
Sure.
Yeah. Lucas looks like a fucking college ball player, and like
they're clearly covering his beard scruff in every opportunity with like makeup and shit. It's really funny.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think it's a good season so far. I mean, I'm really enjoying Stranger Things. I can't wait for it to come back in a month, and we will see where it lands up, you know?
I was a little worried that they were taking too much time showing Eleven's like backstory in the Hawkins laboratory, but then when you get that twist in the last episode and you understand kind of like what it was all meant for, I was really into it. But for a little while there, I was like, why do we need to spend so much time watching her old memories? Like, I just want to watch Steve and Dustin like goof off. So
yeah, I think that the show peaks at episode 3, or what is it, 4, with Mad Max or whatever, where she like, and then I think it dips down for 2 episodes and then it ramps back up for the last one or whatever.
Yeah,
I think that there is a little bit of a lull.
The penultimate, when fucking Murray karate chops that dude on a plane and then they crash a plane and live, is ridiculous.
We don't have to spend much time on this, but I also say I want to also say that like that's my least favorite part of this season so far is the Murray and Joyce Byers.
Poor Joyce. Thing. Like, Joyce is one of my favorites, and she's got nothing to do in this season.
Well, yeah, they're just like, I mean, like, it's completely unrealistic. Like, I feel like they could have found a much more natural
prison. Yeah,
they could have found a much more natural way for them to get to the prison instead of them hijacking a plane. Like, that's the one thing that seems just like so cartoony that it's hard for me to believe.
Yeah. And one of my favorite genres in movies is prison breakout movies. So I was like really into the Hopper stuff when it was just like, he was like breaking his legs to get the shackles off and stuff. And the whole prison sequence.
Oh, I loved it.
Out was great. And then they immediately catch him again. And I was like, fuck. I was like, I don't want to watch this all season. Turns out I had to watch it all season. So.
And how'd you like the man with no name or whatever, the man with no face? Isn't that
Yeah. I love how he says American.
American.
Yeah. I mean, he's fine. But I think the standout newest addition for me is definitely Eddie Munson. Shout out to my guy. Love me some
That's
Eddie.
the D&D guy, right? He's so fucking good.
Yeah, he's great.
He is so fucking hilarious. I love his whole opening thing in the first episode with like the D&D game, and then like the shot of him like you actually see fucking the fear of God in his face when like the girl gets like mutilated at the very beginning. Yeah. It's so good. He's great. Like great, good on him. He's definitely a good addition.
Yeah, and him and Steve talking about Dustin when they're in the Upside Down, where they're just like, it's his ego, right? And it's like, yeah, I think he thinks he knows too much, and they're just like talking shit about him.
Yeah.
I also could watch endless hours of a true crime series featuring Nancy and Robin going to like different places. It'd be amazing.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, it is no secret that I have a gigantic crush on Nancy Wheeler. So
yeah, who doesn't? She's great.
She's great.
I love that they make us keep remembering Barb too.
Oh, I mean, like, and again, like a cool like twist too. Like, I thought that was like a cool twist. It's like, you know, like
she jumps through the ceiling, but then she like falls. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then it shows her eyes flickering around. I was like, oh no.
Well, it's like the whole season. It's like, well, you know, they talk about like all these people that, you know, see Vecna or they get into the curse. They're like people that have a troubled past or whatever. And then all of a sudden it switches on a dime and it's like, oh, you didn't suspect this, did you? Nancy Wheeler, she fucking let this girl to fucking die 4 years ago.
She was getting it on
pilot. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, I think Stranger Things 4 is really, really good. I think the season has been awesome so far. I really, really hope they stick the landing. I think the last 2 episodes are going to be really, really cool. I mean, they're basically going to be like, we get like 2 movies worth of content, which is going to be really cool to see.
But, yeah.
You have lost.
Well, John, we've reached the end of our trek here this evening.
It's been a ride.
It has been a ride. Thank you for going on this ride with me.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah, you need to go
I've
to
had
bed.
so much wine.
Good night, everybody.
It's been a good show. It's been a good show. Hey. Give me a Top Gun quote to end this episode because I'm in a Top Gun mood, my friend John Parker.
I have the need for speed.